Sarah, otherwise known as Yarnmugs on Instagram and Ravelry. Welcome to my podcast where I chat about knitting, crochet, sewing and the books I've been reading. First of all, I just wanted to thank everybody for all the lovely comments after my last video and also for the really generous Ko-fi donations. It's really appreciated. Thank you so much. Now today I'm filming on the 1st of October and it's about 5:30 on a Sunday afternoon, which is a time I would never normally podcast, but I really wanted to get a podcast out today because I'm also taking part in Vlogtober. So I've been sort of filming little bits throughout the day as well, and I wanted to get the podcast out first before Vlogtober starts. So if you're interested in that, feel free to catch up with those videos when they come out. Last year was the first time I did Vlogtober and it was really well received. I had some lovely comments. So yeah, that will be coming tomorrow. So let's get on with what I've been making. Now it's a lovely autumnal evening. The setting sun is behind me. It's a really lovely light, really glowy, but if I move my head too much it will just be a bit too bright for you because it's literally behind me. Okay, so what have I been working on? Well, all through September I've mainly been working on my Habitation throw. I was really hoping to have it finished for this podcast so that I can say to myself in October I'm going to be working on another kind of long-term project that I've wanted to get finished, but I'm nearly there. So this is the Habitation throw, which is a pattern by Helen Stewart from Curious Handmade, and it's made out of Beehive yarns advent calendar from last Christmas, and it's just beautiful. I'm so close though, you know, the stitches are only here, so I'm working my way down to create closing the decreases. So there's my corner edge and I'm bringing this to make it smaller. So I've literally started on this ball and then I've got 5 more minis and they're 10 gram minis to go. I had a week off work recently and I was able to sort of get 1 ball a day and then sort of start another ball, but when I'm working I just can't get that amount of rows in. I think I'm doing about 10 rows per ball, but as the throw's getting smaller, you need to do a lot more than that, but it is lovely. I'm going to stand up to show you because maybe behind the sun you'll really see. Look at the gorgeous colours. Yeah, it's lovely. Merino wool, it's so drapey. I think I might have said before, I don't know how I'm going to use it, but I really think I'll use it to wear because you just imagine when it gets colder, I mean, it's just going to be lovely just to have draped around you. Might be a bit too big to have a scarf in a coat, but it is lovely. So yeah, next time that will be finished. And like I say, I've been working on it all year, so it's been a long project, but yes, so nice to see it come into the end. I've sewn in most of the ends. I'm only a couple of ends short of, and then it will just be completed when it's finished, which is a lovely feeling. But oh, it's so nice. It smells so lovely. It's so squidgy. So yeah, I've been showing that so often, so it will be really nice to get that finished. Another thing I did at very kind of short notice, I had a dress that I'd made quite a while ago. It was probably last summer that I never wore, and I've really wanted to kind of just cut the top off and create a skirt. Now, I don't wear skirts. I can't remember last time I wore a skirt, probably when I was at school. But I follow Rosa Blue on Instagram, and she makes elasticated waisted skirts, often from different fabrics, so they look kind of like scrappy patchworky skirts with 2 big pockets, and I just really love the look of that. So this dress was the Frida dress by Emporia, and if I kind of show you, so the dress already had big pockets in, and it was quite a long dress, and I just cut off the bodice and added some elastic. Just made a channel. It was really easy make. So yeah, sitting on my waist, the skirt comes below my knees. So yeah, I haven't worn it yet. Again, because I don't really know how to wear it. I think I need to look at Rosa Blue's Instagram, because she often layers hers up, so it doesn't have to be just a skirt with a t-shirt. I could wear it with jumpers and tights, and it could be all kind of season skirt. But the fabric is a Rose and Hubble fabric, which is lovely. It looks a little bit like Liberty, doesn't it? But it's not. And it's just cotton. But yeah, I'm pleased with it, but it'd be interesting just to see if I'm going to wear it, and feeling confident in it. But I do love it, and I have wanted to make a skirt for a long time for that reason, just to have nice big pockets. I hope that sounds all right. I'm going to try and move a little bit. Oh, there. Another thing that I had a go at, which I've never done before, and I used some scraps of fabrics when I was making those lavender bags and bookmarks last time, and I've made a little patchwork square. I thought I might try and make a bag out of it. So I've interfaced it with some iron-on interfacing. So I've got a back and a front. And I think I got to that point because I have obviously made some bags before, but I don't know whether to do it a little bit different, because it seems a shame to lose the corner. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet, but I just wanted to have a little go, really, because I do love the look of that. It's not perfect, they're not all, some of them are a little bit skew width, but just the act of joining these little squares together and doing a little bit of quilting. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And again, all of these things, there's the fabric for that skirt that I just showed you, I've made dresses out of. So yeah, in my future, that might be a thing I might have a bit more of a go at, and make some little bags with the scrap fabric. But it feels nice, like I say, nice to feel that kind of thicker quilted. Yeah, and like I say, what a lovely way of using up your scraps. Recently I went on a sewing retreat, and I've talked about these before. It's run by the sewing studio that taught me how to sew, and they do them probably about 3 or 4 times a year, and it's just a really lovely day where you take your sewing machine and your project, and food and drink is laid on, and it's just a really lovely day. So I went recently and I made the Wilder gown. So it's the Wilder gown by Friday Pattern Company. I've made one of these before and I loved it. It's such a really interesting make with this lovely neck with a kind of drawstring type channel in there. But my one that I made last year, the bodice part of it is just a bit too high, and so sometimes it sits sort of mid-bust rather than being below it. So I decided to make the neck size up. But what I shouldn't have done, I also made the neck size up in the skirt panel. Now the version I make is this one with just a one-tiered skirt panel, and when I made it, it was just far too big. So I had to, with some help, cut away a bit of the bodice and make the bodice a bit narrower. And I kept the skirt length the same, but it just meant that it had to fit into a smaller bodice, so then it fits. And I'm really pleased with it. And I've made it because next Friday I'm going to the knitting and stitching show with my sister, and we do that every single year, and I always like to wear something new that I've made. And so this is what I made. I made it from fabric that I bought last year at the knitting and stitching show, and it's a viscose fabric, so it's lovely and drapey. It reminds me of sort of the 70s, it has that kind of 70s vibe. So you can see it's got this lovely channel with your tie, and you can sort of move these gathers around, you know, how you like it. I like it done up, so it's done up to my neck, and it has a nice nice feel. There is a bit of a split, but you can never see that because these ties kind of hang there. So yeah, there's my bodice, there's my gathered skirt. I did put pockets in. The pattern doesn't come with pockets, but I always put pockets in. And then for the sleeve, I just added, again, a little channel of elastic. And I love it because my last one, the sleeves came to about here and are just open and flappy. And I just really feel that elasticated waist gives it a really pretty feel. Yeah, so really pleased with it. Lovely fabric. And like you say, I'm going to wear that to the knitting and stitching show on Friday, so I'll show you a bit more. But you can't really see here, but it's a bit of a raglan. There, you can see that seam there. A raglan shaping of the sleeves. I do think probably I suit, it's a bit more flattering on me, set-in sleeves. But it is the look of it. It's like, it's big. It's meant to be like a nightgown type look, but I love it. It's a lovely make, really straightforward. And especially when made with viscose. I do remember last year at the Knitting and Stitching Show, I saw a few of them, and some people made them in cotton. But I love that look of viscose, with it really being lovely and drapey. So they're the makes I've been working on, but I've also cast on a few things. And I did this knowing that my Habitation throw is nearly finished, and in a month's time, in November, I'm going to the Lay Family Yarn knitting retreat. And I really wanted to have a few new things started and at a point where when I'm there I can just sort of plainly, easily knit rather than having to really focus on any pattern. So I know whenever I've gone to things like that, even on my kind of crafty, I go to an evening once a month, you don't always get as much knitting or crochet done as you think that you will, because you spend time chatting and having cups of tea. But I just thought I need a selection of things. So the first thing I cast on was, my friend has asked me to make a family member of hers some socks, because I've made my friend a few pairs of socks, and I think she underestimated how long it would take me to do. That's quite a big ask, isn't it, when I just thought, oh, it's going to take me ages, I might not be able to get it done in time. But what I've really wanted to do for quite a while is make some DK socks. So I cast on and I'm making the choose your, what are they called? Hold on. I just realised I've got my little book here, and Choose Your House Socks by Kay Jones, and I think that's in relation to Harry Potter. But they're really, it's a really lovely simple pattern, and what I needed is just to have the numbers, because I just wouldn't have had any idea like how many do you cast on, being DK. Now the yarn is from my Beehive yarns. Last year I did the Enchanted Yarn Club, where I got a DK skein every month for a year, and this was the October one. It is just 100% superwash merino DK, but my friend said her family member would like to wear them like as bed socks. So I thought, well, if there's no nylon in there, it won't be so much of a problem. that this is the yarn. And again, it's a lovely kind of autumnal purples and golds, like little flecks of red. Oh, it's really, really lovely. So I split the skein in half, and the skein actually weighed 126 grams. So it was definitely a bit more than I was expecting. And so far I've just cast on, I'm in the middle of the rib. You can't really see the colours here, but it is really lovely. And it feels really squishy. So I'm really looking forward to making those. Isn't that lovely? So that's my first cast on. And I might work on them before I get there, because I almost want to just, yeah, I mean, that's really handy, isn't it? Just knit all the way down, even if I just do the leg. But no, I'm really pleased with that. And it's in this lovely, I've had this for a long time as well, this lovely autumnal project bag. And this is from, who was this by? Oh, there's not a, I can't remember who this is from. Can't remember. I might have even won it. I can't remember, it's a long time ago, but isn't it lovely? Perfect for autumn. I then cast on a cowl. So I've made my dad some socks recently, and I've made him a cowl in the past, but I thought that's another really handy project to have whilst I'm at this retreat. So I've cast on, now for this one, this is a pattern I'd made before for myself, and it's, the spring is in the Air Cowl by Lyndsey Tranter, and I'm using, this lovely yarn. I've had this for absolutely ages. It's from the Wall Kitchen, and it's her Nebula Superwash Blue Faced Leicester and Bamboo, and it's a 4-ply. And this is really classic of Helen from the Wall Kitchen. She often does plain yarn but with splashes of these neon colours. Oh, I'm really pleased with it. So far I've just cast on the first bit of rib, and I made it a bit bigger. The pattern, there is a bit of a pattern in here. And she just said if you need it bigger, just add 17 extra stitches or go up in 17s. So I thought the fact that I'm doing it in, I'm also using a bigger needle than they suggested as well, and I cast on the extra 17. But isn't that lovely? Those pops of colour. I think my dad will love that. And again, that's so nice. And bamboo is, well, I have made something in bamboo before. It's lovely yarn to work with. Put all my yarn labels back, and that's in my lovely Eldenwood craft bag. And again, there's a bit of a theme, kind of autumnal theme, winter theme, foxy theme. Lovely. And then the last thing I cast on, and this is in my bag that I made a little while ago. It's a real kind of sack for a bigger project. And some of the friends I'm going with to the retreat are going to be making the Felix Cardigan by, I've written it down. Who's that by? It's by Amy Christoffers, and it's a lovely cardigan with a lacy, simple, like holy raglan shaping. Now, again, I'm using the wrong yarn for the project. It asks for worsted, and I haven't got any of that, so I'm going with DK, and I'm using this lovely yarn from Travel Knitter. I don't know if any of you have any Travel Knitter yarn, but she has just stopped dyeing yarn now, and I've had quite a few skeins of her lovely yarn, and it's just beautiful. It's like a tealy colour, so this looks a bit black here, but it's kind of teal, but with these splashes of the turquoise. Now I've got 2 skeins of that. Here's the second skein. And then I thought, well, it's been ages since I made a cardigan, so I'm just making it up as I go along, really thinking, oh, I might need about 3 skeins, and I'll make it a bit shorter if I need to, or make the sleeve a bit shorter. But what I thought is this extra could be a stripe every now and again, because those kind of turquoisey bits match, and the brown looks quite nice with it. And again, feels quite autumnal. I don't know, I hope it's all right. You know me, I just sort of go with the flow and see, but I really just wanted to use some of my stash, and you know, I think it looks quite nice together, fingers crossed. So I've cast it on, and I've done my short rows, and again, it's been ages since I've done a cardigan, but looks all right. So that's, look at the lovely flex, it's really nice. And now I'm just about to start the raglan shaping. You're not going to be able to see it very well, but if yeah, so you can just see these kind of bigger, can you see in that triangle, bigger holes. So it's really pretty. So yeah. So again, I'm going to do a little bit more of that. I think ideally what I'd like to do is get down to splitting for the sleeves, so then I could just work on the body in knitting whilst I'm at the retreat. So those 3 things, the DK socks, this cardigan and the cowl, I cast them all off on my day off on Friday. I was meant to have a mammogram and meet a friend for lunch, and both of the appointments got cancelled. So I just thought, I know, I'm going to have a cast on party, and I really loved it. I had a really lovely time. I'd already kind of put the yarn in bags, but I hadn't got the needles out, and then as soon as I got the needles, I just thought, oh, I've got to start. But I'm loving this in the sack. I've got a dress in this, so yeah, love that. So they're all the makes. The last thing I wanted to share with you was a book that I've just finished, and it was this, Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. I mentioned this last time. I think my last book I read prior to this one I didn't enjoy, and I was really looking forward to reading it. And I've heard mixed reviews about this book. My mum read it and didn't like it, and other people have mentioned to me they didn't like it, but I loved it. I really loved it. Some parts made me quite cross because it's about women and how they're treated, and expectations of them, and what they can do and they can't do, and yeah, so some of it was it just makes you angry, but it is a really positive book as well, about being a woman and being strong and being a good role model, and it was just wonderful. Every single character in it was lovely, and yeah, I felt very emotional at the end and didn't really want it to end. And apparently they're making it into a series on TV, but again, you always want to read the book first, really, don't you? But it'll be interesting to see who they get to play the characters. And there's a fantastic character who's a dog, and yeah, he's amazing in it as well. So it'd be really interesting to see how they portray that on the TV. So yeah, that's all my things. So I've talked about my knitting, my sewing, my cast on party, my book, and the fact I'm going to do Vlogtober. So I'm going to try and get this up tonight, get my daughter to help me with, she adds bits at the front and the end of the video, and then hopefully I can start uploading Vlogtober from tomorrow morning. So yeah, hope you're all okay, and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.